Hi, this is Tracy from Dandelion Pickin'. Today I'm gonna make a carrot, a biscuit carrot. So the first thing you need are some biscuits, and I got these from Harbor Freight. I think you can get them on Amazon, Home Depot, all the places. I used some pumpkin Waverly paint and some fern Waverly paint. Really liked that fern color. I did not use the Mod Podge. I have some green ribbon, some paintbrushes, some paper, some cardboard, some baby wipes just for my fingers, my heat tool, and a glue gun. And that's parchment paper down there so I can paint the biscuits. So the first thing I did was I had already practiced drawing my carrot out. You can see that I scribbled out a little bit of the line. But so I just went back in and I painted the carrot, and this was really so that you couldn't see any white underneath the biscuits. So I did paint that a couple times, and for me it was just to get rid of the lines that I had drawn on there, but in the end you couldn't see them anyway. So after I had dried the bottom and got the lines covered up the best I could, and I think it looks kind of like a carrot already, I did go back and paint in the green on the top. And I mean, this is just really up to you how you do this. Once you see the end, you'll understand that you can kind of do this however you want. Lots of options going forward. So I made sure that that was dry, and I am going to set this aside and just let it dry until I'm ready for it. So the next thing I did is got my parchment paper out and just dumped out some biscuits. I'm not really sure how many I used in the end, so I would paint enough that you think you can cover it and then paint more if you need them. So I painted more biscuits, obviously the pumpkin orange color, and then I also painted, I don't know, 10 to 15 biscuits the fern green color. And these two colors went together really well. And what I did is I just painted the sides of it and then the top, and then I set them down, let them dry, and went back and painted the little part that I hadn't gotten the first time. It looks like some sunflower seeds sitting there actually, doesn't it? So then I got my carrot back out, and it was dry, and then I just cut it out, and I didn't stay in the lines. I knew that I hadn't planned on it. I painted a little bit extra so that I had room to cut it out. And you guys, this is just cardboard. If you wanted to make it fancier, you could, but I thought it would be cute on the cardboard. And it gave me more options than like a piece of wood and trying to cut it and sand it. So once I had that all cut out, I just kind of arranged my biscuits on the side how I wanted to glue them on. And depending on how you cut out your carrot or whatever you're making, you just want to play around with it and see the best way to do it. So what I did here is I just hot glued them each around the edges, and then I'm going to take the ones that are not painted and put them in the middle, because I don't want to use all the ones that are painted and dry and then have to go back and paint and dry some more. So I just kind of glued them in a little bit of an order just to fill in that middle so I could come back over the top of it. Now I am going to make you watch how I put the biscuits in and then how I put the biscuits on the top going forward, because this is kind of where it gets tricky, and you want them in a kind of an order so that it looks like a carrot and not just like you glued a bunch of sticks on a rectangle. So once I had these down, I took the orange or the pumpkin color and just brushed them over the tops and in the middles just so they were orange underneath. And that seemed to be a lot easier than the way I did it to begin with. So here I just needed to move a couple around to make them fit in there, which again, it makes it a lot easier because that is cardboard. So it pulled up and dropped down really easily. So if you like the video and you like what I've done, please be sure to sprinkle. It really helps the page grow and I appreciate it a lot. I'd love everybody to make a biscuit carrot, not a Pillsbury, but a Joyner biscuit. So yeah, I would appreciate that a lot. So here I am gluing down the green ones, and this one I'm not quite as worried about filling in because I want it to be a little bit more whimsy. But again, I want you to see how I'm gluing them down. And if you know, if you've done this before, you know what you want to do, you can go ahead and fast forward through this part. All right, so I skipped through, I'm gonna skip through the finishing of the green and the drying of the green. So now I just kind of started putting the biscuits on, going downward on the carrot. And what I'm doing is covering up the little areas that didn't get covered the first time I put the biscuits on. So, and I mean, this is gonna look cute no matter what your pattern is, as long as you keep going with a downward pattern. So you can see here I'm at the end, and it really wasn't a big deal. I just kept the pattern going downward and it turned out so cute. I love it. So once I had it all done, I wanted to put a hanger on it. So I took my skinniest green that I had and I cut a piece to put onto the back. Now I wasn't thinking about where I was gonna put the bow, and I wanted the bow to be right on the split between the green and the orange. So I put it in the wrong place to begin with. You can see I put it there. So I ended up taking it off there and moving it back over right to the split there so that I could put the ribbon on the other side. And I just hot glued it and put an extra piece of ribbon over the top of it. That secures it a little bit better. And I showed you why I did it. So I took those 3 pieces of green. I had a polka dot, kind of a see-through, and then that little thin piece. I folded it in half, cut it, and then just put it together to make a cute little refab bow. And then I added a simple bow to make it a Tracy bow. And I just tied it with that little piece of green ribbon that I had left over. So while I love a little bow like this, I always think it looks a little bit naked without something else. So I like to just make a very simple bow and put it in the middle, and that's why we call it a Tracy bow. And again, if you like this video, please be sure to sprinkle it and share it with other people that you think might like it. So I just put it right there at the end. I thought it would be cute. My original plan had been to put ribbon up the same way as the stem would have gone, but I ended up liking this way better. So I tied my simple bow, and then I just hot glued it to the middle of the other one. And then I gave it a pretty generous size hot glue on the biscuits, because this is gonna hang out on my front door on a wreath. So I wanna make sure it stays there. But all in all, I'm super happy with this project. It was a little bit more time consuming than some of the ones I do, but it ended up perfect. And I hope that you all will make a carrot for Easter. So thanks for watching the video and have a wonderful day.